Another day, another black man in a dress emasculating himself in order to get crumbs from white supremacy. Nothing new to see here. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Rapper Kid Cudi became the latest black man to put on a dress when he made his appearance on Saturday Night Live last Sunday. Now, your Kid Cudi, as he was performing his song on Saturday Night Live, was wearing an off-white dress that was designed by Virgil Abloh, which is supposed to be part of a new clothing line that your Kid Cudi is putting together. Now, your Kid Cudi is saying that he put on this dress because he was making a tribute to Kurt Cobain, the late singer from the band Nirvana. And when I take a critical examination of your Kid Cudi's statement about making this so-called tribute to Kurt Cobain, I just don't believe that's his motive for putting on this dress. No, I believe that he's put on this dress because he wants to send a message to the white supremacists in Hollywood that he will allow himself to be compromised in order to move up the social ladder. Because when it comes down to this whole black men in dresses thing, I believe that this is some sort of ritual that your Hollywood types put your heterosexual black men through in order for them to receive a push in the entertainment industry. Because over the last 30 to 35 years, I have seen most of these A-list black actors and performers in Hollywood go out here and put on a dress, heels, and makeup and emasculate themselves. And after they emasculate themselves, they are rewarded with some sort of push in Hollywood that elevates them and allows them to become larger celebrities and become more popular in celebrity circles and receive opportunities at roles and employment inside of the entertainment industry. That's what I believe happens when it comes down to Hollywood. Whenever a black man wants to go from being a D or a C list performer in order to become an A list performer, they participate in this ritual where they go out here and put on this dress. And that's a message to all of those producers out here that this black man will go out here and do things on their terms. I believe that this is a form of buck breaking in the entertainment industry, a symbolic way of emasculating these black men and saying that these black men will go out here and submit to the terms of white supremacy in Hollywood and do things the way the white supremacists in Hollywood want them to do. So when they go out here and have that black man out here putting on that dress, it's a indicator to most of those people in Hollywood that this is a buck-broken black man and that this buck-broken black man is somebody they can trust to go out here and do their work and not challenge their institution in the arts or make any type of commentary that challenges their whole narratives as related to black men. So this is a form of buck breaking the black man and sending a message to the world that this black man will be no threat to Hollywood and won't go out here and try to produce any sort of images or media that run counter to their narratives, because now that they can get this black man in a dress, they know that this black man is stripped of his manhood, stripped of his masculinity, and is nobody they need to really worry about ever challenging their institutions or speaking against their institutions or creating media that makes commentary about their institutions. This is somebody they can trust to go out here and do whatever they need, and is somebody who will just jump when they tell him to jump. So that's what this is all about. It is not about making a tribute to Kurt Cobain. It is about showing how submissive this black man will be to white supremacy in Hollywood, and how he will not ever try to challenge the people who sign his paychecks. That's what this dress symbolizes and is significant too. And the whole idea of putting your kid cutie in a dress is saying that he will be the next big black star, but it's also sending a message that he will be somebody they can control. So whenever you see these black men in dresses, this is about, again, sending a message to many of the executives in Hollywood. This man is no threat in any way, shape, or form. And it's also about socially engineering the idea to young black boys and young black girls that a black man is not somebody they need to take seriously, because in social circles, if you can take this black man and put him in a dress, you don't see him as any sort of leader or authority figure. It is about making it where he is presented in a completely submissive position and saying to everyone that this man is so weak that we can practically put him in women's clothes and place him in a submissive position under a woman. And this is the message that they want to socially engineer to young black boys, that a black boy has, as related to his masculinity, is not masculine, that this boy is not strong, and that he is so weak that he has to be placed in this submissive position, because to put a man in a dress in many other parts of the world, like we saw in Abu Ghraib, when those prisoners were practically being tortured in that Iraqi prison, that is a form of stripping that man of his manhood and humiliating him. And that's what's being done here to guys like Kid Cutie. But they want to try to spin it like, oh, he's making a tribute to Kurt Cobain. But it's not really about Kurt Cobain. It's about sending a message about black manhood, and that this entertainer is going to push the narratives they want on black manhood, in saying that the black man is an extremely weak man, and that the black man is somebody who is so buck broken they can put him out here in a dress. And they're also using him to allegedly collaborate on a clothing line with Off-White CEO Virgil Abloh, who designed this dress. And if you would want to go out here and, again, sell a dress, you would think you would find an attractive black female entertainer to sell that dress, because you would sell thousands of units and even hundreds of thousands of units. But they go out here and get this black man to wear this dress, thinking that it's going to shock people. But again, it's not about selling the dress or shocking people. It's about sending a message that we have another buck-broken black man here, and this buck-broken black man is somebody who we can go out here and get to degrade himself, compromise his dignity and his self-respect, and go out here and degrade himself and be our yes man, because if we can get him to put on a dress, we can also get him to do other degrading things. And this is a message that this is the type of black man we want as part of our entertainment industry, an emasculated, soft, weak male who has no backbone, has no spine, and is completely weak. And this is the type of man we get entertained by in a passive-aggressive fashion. Passively, we're putting a black man out here, but aggressively, we're emasculating this black man and having a laugh at his expense, because that's what those executives in the entertainment industry are doing when they put a guy out like Kid Cutie out here. Those producers and people who control the money, who control the media and the narratives of the media, they're having a very good laugh at Kid Cutie, and they're saying to themselves, look at what we can get this black male to do. We can get this black male out here in a dress, and we can get him emasculated. And we can also then continue to further push our agenda as related to effeminizing the black man and emasculating the black man. And that's what's happened here with your Kid Cutie, is he's not only been effeminized, he's been emasculated, and he is somebody that no one in the entertainment industry will respect or regard. Yes, he's got his money in the short term, but he compromised his dignity and his intangibles of manhood in the long term. So he's really somebody who has given up so much to get so little, because moving ahead in the white supremacist entertainment industry isn't much to really out there, because when it comes down to fame, it's only 15 minutes or possibly less, and your intangibles of manhood should be worth far more than trying to get some push from the mainstream media. Because what is a push from the mainstream media when you don't have your intangibles of manhood, like your dignity, your self-respect, or your self-worth? What good is having fame if you've compromised the internal parts of your character? That's a critical question your Kid Cutie is going to have to ask himself, because he's out here degrading black manhood and black masculinity, and he sacrificed his own, and he's got a lot of kids out here who will probably think, oh, this is the way to go. But no, this is not the way to go, because the only people we have out here pushing this narrative on a regular and consistent basis in the mainstream media are black men. And it always seems to be, they always find one black man out here to put on these dresses, these makeup, and these heels. And they always find black men to do this. You don't see any Latino men doing this. You don't see any Asian men doing this. You don't see any Arab men doing this. And the reason why you don't see any of those men doing this is because they understand the value of manhood. They understand the value of masculinity. They understand that a man's intangibles of manhood have incredibly high value, and they won't compromise their manhood, because they understand that what makes a man is more important than money. Because if a man does not have a strong moral position and strong values, what will happen to that man is he will wind up buck-broken and placed in a submissive position under children and a pet dog. And that's what happens to many of these black men who are in the entertainment industry. They think they're moving up in the white supremacist Hollywood, but what's happening is they're taking a step down in the world. And once the entertainment industry gets through with them in 2 to 5 years, these men wind up being kicked out by the entertainment industry and turned out, and they wind up becoming somebody nobody respects. And what happens is these men fall into obscurity, having to think about all of the things that they did in order to move themselves ahead, but wound up absolutely going nowhere. Because a man, certain things that he just doesn't compromise. One is his relationship with the Most High God. 2 are his intangibles of manhood, like his dignity, his self-respect, and his self-worth. And 3, he doesn't compromise his role as a man as established by the Most High, because he made the man to be a leader and a steward. And when a man allows himself to become buck-broken like this, he is not fit to lead anyone, and he is not somebody who can be a responsible steward under the standard of the Most High. So when you have a guy like this and he's wearing a dress to move himself ahead in the white supremacist entertainment industry, he's showing that he is somebody who worships white supremacy more than the Most High God, and he's somebody who will go out here and do the dirty work of a white supremacist, and he will go out here and allow himself to be humiliated, degraded, and disrespected. And sadly, that's what happens to your buck-broken black man. He sacrifices so much to get so little, and these are the same black men in a couple of years who are sitting here talking about how they want to get respect, how they want to be seen as somebody people regard, but you wanted to become a star in the white supremacist system, and if you want to become a star in the white supremacist system, you can't be a light for the Most High because you want to be their slave and you don't want to be your own man. And being your own man has a higher value than being a slave in the system of white supremacy, because buck-broken slaves are used and discarded, but men have a value to the Most High. And that's something black men really need to think about and instill in their black boys, that there are some things as related to your manhood, male identity, and and your masculinity that you just don't compromise, because being an entertainment for somebody is not really what you want to be if it means sacrificing your dignity and your self-respect, and it means sacrificing your manhood and your male identity. I mean, there are more important things out here than being the center of attention, because it's more important about how you're the center of attention. Because if you're seen as a man in a dress, you're seen as a joke, and when you're seen as a joke, you're seen as somebody who nobody takes seriously. And your kid cutie thinks, oh, I'm on the stage of Saturday Night Live and I have made it at 37 years old. But I can tell you, in 3 years, he's going to be looking back at himself and realizing that he has lost so much in order to get that opportunity. And things come and go, but compromising your character is something that once you lose it, you can't get it back. And once you compromise your character, you're practically on a dark road, because, like I put on the back of my book, The Temptation of John Haynes, death kills the flesh and compromise kills the soul. And when black men put on dresses, they make a compromise that kills their soul and costs them their spirit, and costs them things that have far more value than any sort of fame or attention they would get from the entertainment industry. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my books featuring positive images of black men, like The Temptation of John Haynes, The Man Who Rules the World, and the books of the John Haynes series, you can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, John Haynes, The Man with Nothing to Lose. The Man Who Rules the World runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, The Man